hemp huntress here from the lovely Pacific Northwest, inside in the kitchen, prepping for Thanksgiving. Today doing the prep for gluten-free, dairy-free green bean casserole. So that requires making my own cream of mushroom soup and getting that prepped today, and also doing the French fried onions homemade and getting them prepped today. So that is what we are about to do. So here we go. So we got the chicken broth going, and I use Better Than Bouillon. You can see I've got all my ingredients getting ready to prep here. One of the things that's a little bit different is a potato, help make it creamier. The Silk Creamy Cashew milk as the milk replacement, and using some Bragg's olive oil, a little bit of wine in that sauce when I do the mushrooms. And I am getting ready. Oh, time for some prep. Alrighty, we have the onions diced, those potatoes sliced, that'll help make it creamier. You got those mushrooms, and we're going to be putting them mushrooms right into this saute pan, getting them sauteed up with the onions, and then reduce in the wine. So that's our next steps, and then we will be moving into our pot here where I'll get some cornstarch and the oil going and get the broth in there and get that going, and that'll be the next steps. We'll get there in just a minute, but I think we need a break again. Okay, we have put approximately half of the mushrooms into our mix here with the potatoes and the chicken broth and the cornstarch, and we're going to bring this to a simmer, and then we're going to simmer it about 15-20 minutes, and then we're going to just let it go for about 5, calm it down a little bit, and then it will go into the blender, and that's what's going to make our creamy portion. Once we move that into the blender and get it all creamy, then we add those mushrooms and we let it sit overnight. Oh, and we will also be adding a little bit of cashew milk. That's our choice. Got about 4 more minutes, and then we're going to be putting that soup into the blender. This is proven to be the most dangerous part for me. I have made a mess in past years, hitting the puree and not having the lid on tight, and it's hot soup all over. So I am doing a pause warning. If you're watching this, then you probably also partake. Take a pause before you put that hot soup into that blender, and really take your time, hold the lid down good, and puree it. And I'm about to do that in a couple minutes, and I may video it because it could end up being a blooper. Anyway, be careful. I'm going to do pulse first. Okay. Alright, we're good, we're good. Whoa! See, I'm telling you. We're going to hold on, though. There we go, a couple pulses. Okay, now where's my puree? Right here, puree. Okay, that is our nice, look at that. That is a nice, creamy, dairy-free cream of mushroom right there. Oh, yeah. And now, we're going to add these mushrooms into that mix. And then let it simmer for about 5 minutes, and then store it till tomorrow. Alright, there she is. Going to be cooling overnight. Look at that. Nice. Might cream it up a little bit more tomorrow, but that's going to be yummy. That is yummy. I did season it a little bit more with some Bragg's seasoning. Yes. On to the French fried onions. Nothing too fancy here. Got some onions. Gonna be slicing them. We do them very thin. It's the way we like it. You can do it however you like, but we like them nice and thin and crispy. So I'll be cutting those thin, or slicing those thin, into the creamy cashew milk, or silk, can't call it milk, into the creamy cashew silk. Sit there for an hour. I'll be making a blend with Bob's Red Mill baking flour and some Bragg's Organic Sprinkle. It'll go into a pan of oil, and we'll have some French fried onions that will then sit on top of the paper towel. And it should be that simple. Usually a mess though, because I'm doing it and the oil tends to get all over. But here we go. Let's prep our gluten-free French fried onions, and dairy-free. Gluten-free, dairy-free French fried onions for the green bean casserole. So while we have the onions and the milk, a couple other things you can do for this gluten-free, dairy-free Thanksgiving. I will be making some croutons out of this Canyon Bakehouse gluten-free bread, chopping it up into squares, doing a little olive oil and flavoring with Bragg's, and then putting it in the oven at like 300 degrees just to kind of crisp it up a little. And I have got my mashed potatoes going. And I'm just going to substitute cashew milk, and then we use Smart Balance as our butter substitute. So, mashed potatoes going. We've got our mushroom soup in the refrigerator. We've got our fried onions in the milk. We've got our croutons we're about to do, and then I'm prepping for tomorrow morning. I'll be making some gluten-free sliced bread for regular bread at the table. But right now, gonna get on those croutons. Our lovely tray of gluten-free croutons. You can see they're very squishy, fresh bread. It's good, but we want them to be crunchy croutons. So, we're gonna take these babies. And we are gonna put them in there. Got a little test one in there while the oil heats up. And we are gonna just go from wet onion, dip it, fry it onto the paper towel. Onions are almost done. You can see the different process, and they are looking scrumptious. Gluten-free, dairy-free, French fried onions. As you can tell from my shirt, I am done doing the French fried onions, and I am done the pre-day prep for gluten-free, dairy-free Thanksgiving. So tomorrow will be turkey. We'll be getting all the fixings together. My wife does the sweet potatoes, and she'll do some deviled eggs and all that other good stuff. And I'll be deconstructing the turkey, putting it over gluten-free croutons that we made today, and getting everything else together, as well as making some Bob Mills gluten-free bread. So till tomorrow.